Good debt versus bad debt. Hi, I'm Jaco Grobbelaar, the founder and managing director of Prosperity Enterprises. There is such a negative stigma to debt, and people will do everything in their ability to get out of debt. But there's actually something called good debt. Debt is not always evil. In many instances, debt can be used to create wealth and financial freedom for you. So what is good debt? Good debt is borrowing considered to improve your future. Examples of good debt would, for example, be student loans or investing to acquire property, business loans, as well as a mortgage. These kind of debts are an investment into your future and enables you to actually have a better future. But then there are bad debts. Bad debts are usually those debts that we acquire in order to improve our lifestyle, even though we can't actually afford it. Examples of bad debt would be credit cards, payday loans, car loans, and consumer loans. These are the kind of debts that you want to avoid as much as possible. Yes, you do need a clothing account or two on your name and a small credit card to improve your credit score. But this should be a very small amount and should literally only be there so that your credit score can be improved. Let's talk about the characteristics of good debt. Good debt would usually have low interest rates, would offer great tax benefits, is linked to an asset that appreciates in value, and would have a positive impact on your future. Whereas bad debt, on the other hand, would usually have high interest rates, would be linked to an asset that doesn't increase in value, would have a negative impact on your finances, and lacks any long-term benefits. So if you find yourself in a position where you have a lot of bad debt, you need to get rid of your bad debt. How do you do that? Firstly, you need to determine the extent of your debt. Make a debt list and list every single debt that you have so that you can become aware of all the bad debts that you have. Secondly, stop acquiring new debt. Make sure that you live well below your means and that you stop acquiring new debt. Thirdly, set up an emergency fund. If you do not have an emergency fund, you will simply go into debt again when there is financial trouble. So make sure that you've got 1 month or maybe 3 months of your salary saved away to access if there is an emergency. And then lastly, implement the good plan. The good plan is a get out of debt plan. That is a plan where you list your debts from your smallest debt to your biggest debt, and you tackle the debts one by one, working the smallest debt off first, then channeling that money that you paid for that debt into your next debt until that one is paid off, and then the money that you would have paid for those two debts you channel to your next debt, and you work that off until all your debt is paid off, except for your good debt. So how do you manage debt? You manage debt by acquiring good debt to build up assets that can appreciate in value, and you make sure that that good debt doesn't require you to pay a lot of money in monthly that you maybe do not have. You make sure that you have a good reserve fund in place so that if there is a shortfall, that shortfall can be subsidized by the reserve fund. You make sure that you have debt where the interest rates are low. Avoid high interest rate debts. And lastly, you put a repayment plan in place to ensure that you know when you are going to work off which debt. Remember to book a one-on-one consultation with us or join one of our property investment seminars near you by clicking on the link in the comments section. If you like this content and would like to receive more of it, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.